Welcome to another episode of Not Another Podcast with Esports Social Club. We're going to refer to you now as socialites, I believe is the term. I'm James Jimenez O'Cowan. Joining me is Ian Sniper Turner. Yeah, put your phone on silent, mate.
I'm on call, mate.
And Geordie McAleer. Gentlemen.
Some of us have jobs.
Really?
Good for you.
Wow, okay.
Low blow. Oh, you're going to jump in on this
That's
too,
a
Mr.
weird
Freelance?
flex. That's a weird flex.
Didn't realise you'd a unemployment sandwich right now. Wow, what a wild ride this is already taking.
Hey, it's underemployment, okay?
I believe the term is fun employed, mate. So if you want to curb your enthusiasm a little bit.
I'm fighting an uphill battle because there's probably a couple of esports people who are technically unemployed.
Yeah, we go from job to job.
Yeah.
That's how this works usually.
Isn't that freedom?
It is.
So it's called freelancing?
It's not very free, to be honest.
Well, depends which TO you work for. Oh, sorry.
Oh, man, that was
starting.
straight. What an ailment.
Straight in
to
the
start
gut.
with.
Someone out there's feeling that
That
punch.
free labour.
Bang. Just like that ESCA casting.
Naming names like bang.
No, bugger it.
Yeah.
I didn't even get partnered. How about that?
You-
I mean, there was an absolutely satirical post.
There was no way you were going to get partnered on that.
I know. Like, it was straight out a post that
You
I
called
didn't
the graphics
expect-
dog shit.
I didn't call it dog shit.
Oh, it was
I
something
said
along those
boring.
lines.
I said it was boring. I
Boring
said
dog shit.
the
Yeah, they're
asset
both pretty similar.
packages were boring.
Yeah.
I asked if there was any room for creative flair and whether or not I'd be stifled,
Of course.
whilst being exploited for free labor,
Yep.
which evidently saw attention.
Which isn't uncommon.
No,
right.
it isn't. It isn't. But the point being is that I didn't expect anyone to actually take that seriously. And yeah, I did apply for MDL casting after that, after the guys got tagged in the line. I didn't hear back. I don't expect to hear back.
You don't have good
But that's a
track
status
record
update. What do you
with,
mean?
With applying for TOs.
What do you mean?
I just feel like you've put yourself out there quite a lot.
Have I?
So far, not much to show for it. A couple of tweets here and there. Maybe a couple of application forms.
Oh, yeah, totally, man. I've been
Spam.
combing for TOs to, come my way.
Yep.
Maybe overlooked Ian, but I'm never underpaid.
That's true. You charge an exorbitant rate for what you deliver. Really, it's nothing on my scale.
Here I am plugging. I'm good with tech. Just trying to plug my,
Production.
Cat 6 cable into a potato because
Yeah.
Cat 6 cables are great. All right, before we kick this one off, special thank you to Skrilla, our partners who have been awesome in supporting us in 2019 through our launch and now through to 2020. They're back on board for another season. And do be sure to check them out. They have a range of ways of supporting the Australian local esports community. So make sure you do support them because they are certainly supporting us. And remember, if you're going to gamble responsibly and do choose Skrilla to do so. But that's really as
Jeez,
far
we
as it
got
goes.
really off track.
We
yeah,
did.
so what's the topics for
bad.
today?
I feel bad for bringing it this far.
I thought you were supposed to bring the topics, Mac.
Me?
Yeah.
You only got the computer in front of you.
Funny that in an esports podcast, I'm the only one with a computer in front of me. How about that? Either way, it has been a long, hard week, gentlemen. Mac, you've only just returned from your adventures at the Australian Open.
Yep. It was a good time down there.
And you,
Must have been good.
I was curious, what roles did you perform down there? Because obviously, did you take any camera gear, or did you go down? Was more of like the broadcast team or anything like that?
Yeah, so I was in the production team. I was part of the observer team with MC Cindy. Pilly was there. What other names do you guys know? Do you know Sky?
I think
The
MC Cindy's a pretty badass
MC
name, by the way.
Cindy. That's Cinderella, who's one of the good Overwatch observers as well. Does a lot of other stuff behind the scenes, and then had
If the
Laura
shoe fits, I guess.
there as well. And yeah, we just had a cool little team, and pretty much what are you doing?
It was a slow burn, dude. I tried to stop it. Cinderella.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No. See, I was just explaining. I didn't hear what you guys
just
said.
slipping through.
Yeah,
The filter.
through
No.
the keeper.
Get out of it. Oh.
If this goes any longer, we're going to turn into pumpkins at
I was gonna
midnight.
say,
Continue.
Yeah, keep it. Nice.
Anyway, so AO
Relax.
AO was great.
Relax, Mac.
AO was great,
Let
mate.
your hair down.
You woke me up from a nana nap.
Wouldn't be the first
I know.
podcast member we've had to wake up.
Anyway, so AO was pretty smooth. Everything was good. Observing was fun. The event itself was pretty sick. Had to perform.
I've lost you.
Ian's
I'm
gone.
sorry, dude. We're back. I can do it. I'm back. Never mind.
So this is 10 minutes of going left and right
Sorry.
and not saying goodnight. Not just yet.
Yeah, we dance a lot.
Yeah.
We dance a lot.
So yeah, Melbourne was sick. Let's just leave it at that.
Home of esports.
Home of esports. Yeah, just a couple of esporters there. Lots of influence as well. It's part of the whole Fortnite gig.
Now I'm
Yeah.
led to believe that the eventual winner
Yep.
used to control.
Yeah, so he was young. I think he was a teenager. I don't know how
Doesn't
old. I think it was
excuse
like
his ignorance.
14-ish. And I can't recall his name. I'd have to get it. But he also posted on Twitter
Not a big deal. Just
the
one-
same thing
one
that
Just won a lot of money.
yeah, he won 100K.
Oft.
Yeah, beat a bunch of computer players that no one saw it coming. And he was nuts. Although he was extremely camera shy in the interview in the end. Looked like it was a little bit awkward. But
Wow, who
you
would've
wouldn't
thought?
you wouldn't expect it.
So you're allowed to play Fortnite at 14.
I guess so.
Okay.
I think there was a 13-year-old there playing as well. He won one
Yeah.
of the games.
Yes, you remember back in the day. Oh, no, obviously it's a bit of a different beast with
Obviously get the note from mum.
Counter-Strike, but yeah, back in the day, if you didn't have a note from mum or
Mm.
even in the later stages of some competitions, you weren't able to play unless you were 15 or 16.
You're still not. You can't play.
15, I think. is because
15
of
is like the cutoff, I think.
Yeah,
For
the-
FPL and ESEA is 16, I think.
because of the classification of the game in certain countries.
That's probably what it is, though,
Yeah.
because
Bob the Builder, like I said. Bob the Builder FPS.
well, the demographic of the audience is children. Like
Yeah.
mostly, it's just like a lot of screaming kids in that stadium.
Is it like
Um,
when you see like a 30-year-old playing Fortnite, is it like when you're driving down to the train station and there's like a 40-year-old guy on a push bike? Is it like that?
Not really. I don't know. It's pretty inclusive. The whole
How do you do, fellow
Fortnite
kids?
thing.
Yeah.
You just don't like building, do you? You just really don't like Fortnite.
Yeah, no, I don't really like Fortnite.
I don't know. The game never really appealed to me.
Yeah,
be honest,
I
that's
just have
why.
fun. It's just fun. You can just do
mm,
whatever.
Yeah, means to an end, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously, the event itself, huge success in terms of production and how the event ran. It seemed to be quite a tight ship this year.
Yep.
Obviously, working off last year's template and how well that actually went. But given some of the time constraints of the event as well, I think the event team did pretty well with that. I think someone was saying that the bump out was pretty
40
hectic.
minutes, 40 minutes for a bump out. I mean, it's pretty hectic, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the only way to put it in a Western Sydney kind of way. Is
Hectic.
that
Hectic.
it's just unbelievable
Go the
what
doggies.
what they achieved, to be honest. Like, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the definition of many hands
Yeah,
make
mate.
light work.
Yeah,
Pat
but
yourself on the back,
Oh.
mate. Well, you were part of the bump out team,
I
though.
had to lift many things.
You still got any bumps?
didn't see any photos. What's going on?
I think I cut my hand at one point, but that was after the bump out was pretty much done.
You don't get any. Yeah, it's not a bump out unless you have a few bumps.
Yeah. That's all right.
But obviously the event went pretty well. Obviously there's a lot of money on the line with that Fortnite event, and it went to a kid with a controller. How about that?
Huge.
How about that?
The good thing was I don't think there are any cases of the coronavirus, which was a big issue going into it because there's a lot of people in that area.
There was a lot of concern.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've already seen events cancelled. I know the LPL English team have actually been flown back out of Shanghai.
This is like the league.
the league
LPL.
guys. They've been sent home
Yep.
because LPL, the League of Legends Chinese
Mhm.
division, has been indefinitely postponed.
Yeah, well, I saw that was it ScoMo bloody shut the borders to anyone entering from China that isn't a citizen. I think it was.
Yeah, so basically what they've done is they've upgraded travel advice to China
Yeah.
as a do not travel zone. So basically, if you go there, you forfeit any sort of safety measures they put in place for Australian citizens overseas.
Yeah. Okay.
And you've gone against the government's travel advice, and you're not covered for anything essentially. So it is now classed as a do not travel zone in terms of Australia. I don't know if there's going to be any. I don't know if there's been any other nations to do that. You would think, obviously, a land that's girt by sea, we'd be pretty safe
We're good.
from that, just by nature of our
Yeah, but
geographical
we're also
location.
like the
But
number one place for the Chinese to hang out.
True. I mean, what was it like? There's a lot of direct flights as well. That run to capital cities every day from China. Look, I suppose, yes, you're correct in that regard, but also very extreme measure to be taken, and it obviously has an impact on esports.
It's got to
as well.
be done, man, because you do any sort of reading up on potential pandemics and how no one's really ready because they're just like taking it for granted.
Mm.
It's the kind of thing though that, from what I've seen, only affects like the young and old and like the unhealthy, right?
Like any sort of flu, right?
Yeah.
But they mutate because it's influenza.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
That's the scary part, I think.
Anyway,
Well,
this isn't a.
Did you see a lot of people, obviously, taking precautions at the event? Do you think like that was sort of did that mar the event?
Yeah, was there a lot of fake masks?
There was more so at the airport. There was lots of
Okay.
fake masks, and I also had one in my bag. And then Jess got angry at me that I didn't wear it and said I'm not allowed to come home.
Was it a Hello Kitty mask at all?
Jess, did you wear a fake mask at the airport? Oh.
Jess picked me up from the airport today.
Just for those of you that want context on the audio version of this, that we have an in-house Lego sculptor.
Oh yeah, Jess is building Legos over off cam.
Anyway, just had to confirm that because if you're wearing a face mask and it's not a gas mask, it's a waste of time.
Exactly, but it's also my understanding of the mask is to, if you're sick, prevent others from actually catching it.
It's actually just purely
It's
saliva.
self-quarantine, right?
It's just saliva.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're still going to get it in your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but obviously moving on from that, it did have an effect on esports as a whole, and I think that's an interesting segue into our next topic, is because one of the events that has been affected by the coronavirus outbreak has been WESG. Now, with the APAC finals actually being postponed indefinitely, I don't think there's any news on where that's going.
Yeah.
But
Some say no news is good news.
well, I don't know in this case because the Oceanic qualifiers have still run, and there's a team going from Oceania round 0. We're fortunate enough to qualify in what was a LAN event
In spectacular
teams.
fashion.
Well, let's just say that it wasn't a high participation rate, which is no fault of the teams that were participating because they were organised enough to get going. But the fact that I think the lead-in time for the event was overnight in some instances to
Yeah.
register and qualify, that's not good enough.
No. There needs to be a lot more planning, a lot more notification for organizations and teams to have a fighting chance at an international opportunity, which is something that our region does not get very often. Even just opportunities in general for leagues at the moment is looking real thin.
It's
We've been
real
talking
thin.
about that.
Hang on, guys. What's going on? Am I getting deja vu? Did we talk about this last week?
A little bit. We didn't talk about that in particular.
Did we foreshadow this last week? Did we talk about like people not knowing what tournaments are coming up and not therefore having a roadmap for what did we see this coming, guys? That never happens.
It happened before
To
we
my eyes
recorded last
deceive
week.
me.
It happened like a month ago.
It happened every
It
time
happens
we had an
every month.
episode last year. It
Yeah.
was like we would say something and then it would happen.
Literally, the only reason it came to light, and I'm looking through the Discord records right now, is because one of the
Is there a
regional
conflict?
because one of the regional representatives for HLTV and Liquipedia, Razaza, has posted it as,
Oh, yeah.
as a global notice in the Australian CSGO Discord. Hey guys, no one's joined this essentially, and he's posted a link. It's a bit of a brah moment.
I
as he
legit
described it.
thought like it was a boycott because I'm not in the inner sanctum of players anymore, so I don't get notified when there's tournaments, obviously.
All right.
So I just thought everyone had decided enough is enough and boycotted.
Look, to be honest, I wouldn't blame them if that was the case. But it seems as though some teams, if there's a gentleman's agreement on that sort of stuff, right? Top teams don't.
I'm pretty
enter.
sure I read some tweets that were just like, "Yeah, we're surprised by this too." So it wasn't a boycott.
No, it wasn't.
Kind of
it
wish
wasn't.
It was,
But here's the thing, right?
Ian loves a good boycott.
It was posted. The Discord notice was posted on the 11th. The qualifier dates on this took place on the 11th.
Oh.
I could literally hear the gallon as it left the bottle through your esophagus. Hopefully it all went down the right way.
Well, some came out my mouth and it's running down my chin. But, that was a risk I needed to take.
All right. Okay. A bit of ASMR for those of you that are at home.
Bit of Rule 42 as well.
Oh, no.
We're spiraling. We are
Okay.
spiraling.
So the tweet went out for WESG Oceania on the 10th. Notice of it was on the 11th. And I'm pretty sure the qualifier took place on the 11th.
Yeah.
So
It was like the next day.
literally, they just expected people in a snap to participate. But it seems as though in the fallout from that, it was just a lot of, who would have guessed it, finger pointing.
Yeah. As per usual.
Unheard of in esports.
Our understanding is that obviously with the tournament itself, WESG, that's in a similar boat to your Ali Esports events. Therefore, it falls under the jurisdiction of AEL. Well, at least it wouldn't go by without AEL knowing about it. My understanding is that they did know about it. And the platform that it took place on was Mogul. And everyone's sitting there going, hey, guys, it was your job to market it. And nobody marketed it.
Yeah.
The finger guns are out.
The finger guns are out, guys. These non-endemics are messing with our shit.
Were
again.
Were they like this,
Again,
though?
again.
They're like the finger guns.
They were the fat finger guns.
I'm just... Yeah.
They were these finger guns.
Into the mirrors. Finger guns into the mirrors.
You know the spider.
but-
you know the two Spider-Men pointing
Yeah.
at each other.
Like But
It's literally these two pointing at each other, going,
Yeah.
you market it. No, you market it. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault."
Where's the
Except
fucking
that-
accountability? Just
All I'm gonna say,
someone needs to cop it and just go, look, yeah, cool, we screwed up. We'll try to do better next time. But
Yeah.
that's been done by AEL before.
it
so-
has. But look, the event was another critical hit.
There
I'm
was
not
one point
entertained.
where they did.
Yeah, knock it out of the park here. Knock it
Mm.
out of the park. But there was, 4 teams that were there in total? They had to... There was some confusion around the bracket. I think, 5 teams, sorry. The seating for it was also abysmal. It had to be redone.
Mm-hmm.
So to remake the bracket with 5 teams. Someone said the tournament ran well. It was very smooth all day. It's kind of hard to mess that up
Yep.
if you've only got 5 teams. But yeah, essentially that's a spot gone begging at an overseas competition because the notice for it was incredibly short. So yeah, 2020, it's not good enough.
No,
It's not good enough.
move forward. Bad way to start the year.
I've had a
is-
fantastic start to the year. but
Great news for Ground Zero.
Yeah, great
No.
news for Ground Zero.
Fantastic news for Ground Zero because obviously with those guys as well, some people might remember too that Zeph stepped down from that roster.
Yep.
So they brought in, I believe, Pairs
Pairs, yeah.
to actually
You
to
know
fill that
Pairs.
void.
Heard of him.
But yeah, they took down Paradox at FBI. I think was the event was played at.
What an achievement.
It was very hard to catch the broadcast because I believe there were some technical delays as that was covered by Conky. My understanding was that they didn't get him a GOTV. Lo and behold.
Yeah.
So another, I guess, tick in the box for this event was the ability for those that were actually covering it to cover it properly. He was essentially sent a stream of a spectator POV from the venue.
I know it was short notice, but do we know why?
Well, they just didn't
The-
have a stream planned.
No,
that was the thing.
No, I mean, like, do we know why the top teams didn't turn up?
Because it was a day's notice.
It was a day's notice, and they were just.
What else are they doing?
I'll send a message. Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can get an answer before the end of the episode.
Yeah, if we can. Like, what's the reason? There's got to be a reason, and I hope it's not just like it was too late notice. Because, like,
To
you're an esports.
Look, to be honest,
how flexible do you need to be?
if it's okay, so if you're a player, and you're still on player break, because keeping in mind that these qualifiers took place, I do believe, before the Katowice qualifiers, which were the first announced.
They were online, right? So, what, 24 hours notice for an online qual?
Yeah, but if you're
Rally the troops?
if you don't have players that are not back from player break yet because they aren't aware of anything on the calendar.
I mean, some
They're not
players,
gonna be around.
I know some players were not home. And in that instance,
Correct. But would it be safe to say, okay, so the Katowice qualifiers were on the 14th, 15th, and 16th
Yeah.
of January.
Mhm.
These qualifiers were announced on the 10th and ran on the 11th.
Yep.
So by my calculations, that was a Friday. They were announced on the 10th,
Yep.
ran on the Saturday.
Yeah.
That's a few days before Katowice.
should have been
qualifiers.
boot camping. So, what's the problem?
I'm going to go and
I
say
think for
that
Cato quals, I remember hearing. I think
well, Renegades didn't
Who
even
was
have
it?
their fifth back until
the day
the
before.
day before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't all there. They weren't able to boot camp, but they still took it out.
Still smashed it. But
They
the other
hadn't-
teams.
yeah.
All right. Renegades, I can understand a little bit more than anyone. But,
So that's one top team that's already.
and then you've got Order,
factored
had
out.
lineup problems, right?
Well, it depends on
How you
I
look
guess
at
the
it.
availability of
Rick,
Rick and
yeah.
those newer players.
Yeah.
Surely they should have been playing.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Should have been playing. But
there's,
also,
there's other teams between them.
it comes into it. The event organizer doesn't have a fantastic rep.
No, yeah, of course. And if it's announced the day
Actually-
before, it's going to be an absolute fiesta. But, at some point,
So
Counter-Strike is Counter-Strike.
I can-
Is it your job or is it not your job? Like,
Actually, the interesting thing for me was, now I'm going to need to clarify this, was that the winners of the 2019 WESG
we're grinners.
no,
Chiefs?
weren't paid yet.
so that's another.
Didn't Chiefs win it every year?
I'm talking about the global.
Oh, like
The
MVP
global finals, yeah.
Whoever it was, MVP?
Might have been someone else.
Tyloo?
No.
No, the full global ones.
Gambit?
I can't remember who
Was
was
it
there.
Windigo or something like that?
Maybe just one of those European teams.
Yikes, anyway.
So
So therefore,
I know one team at least decided to not play it because they were like, we got 24 hours notice. Fuck it, we're not playing.
Look, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Just had to ask the question.
Yeah, so I assume if that's happened with like one team, that they would not be the only team.
Where
so
is
the
the
2018 version, because in 2019 they're running the 2020 they're running the 2019 version.
Of course.
So I don't know what timeline these guys are in.
Right, yeah, and yeah.
That throws me off. It's like with the hottest 100 2019, but they do it in 2020 because it's obviously the hottest songs from
Last year.
2019, but it always throws me off. I'm like, hang
Yeah.
on, we're taking a step back here, boys.
So just to clarify, yeah, it was Windigo actually. Windigo did win. I saw a tweet from one of the Wendigo players. Who was it? That they hadn't
Are they
been
all the
paid.
teams
They
that-
hadn't been paid yet
Did
from their
those teams all turn up?
2018 tournament.
Did those teams all turn up?
Yeah, I remember.
So Wendigo beat Fnatic, MIBR, and G2.
That
So
was
they didn't play
2018
them?
though. That's when Fnatic was like not good.
Yeah, but it's still that's MIBR.
So
bro,
no,
right?
G2, Fnatic, G2, and AGO and Wendigo. AGO and Wendigo were the two finalists.
That's
Wendigo
right.
won
yes.
the
Right.
lion's share,
Yeah.
$500,000 prize pool,
I
and as
remember
far as
now.
I understand, have not been paid it yet.
Because it was Fnatic and G2 in the semis, and they're opposite ends of the brackets, and they both shit the bed to
Yep.
these Russian teams. And hilarious
Well, Wendigo, I think, were Hungarian.
outcome. Were they? Was it Victor and stuff?
Yeah, hang on, where's the bloody Wendigo logo?
It's the
Isn't
purple ball with wings or something.
Yeah, there it
It's
is.
there, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Russians, yeah, or Bulgarians. Vic-
Bulgarians actually.
it's like, is it the
It was your Bubbles, your Victors,
Yeah.
those guys. Yeah. No, Victor was actually the one tweeting out.
I'm trying to remember their name.
Victor was tweeting out that he hadn't actually been paid his 2018 WESG winnings,
Hmm.
which occurred last year.
Right.
So if you're a top team in this region, and it's a split, you literally have 24 hours to make that call. The tweet has gone out about that time.
I'd still play it.
Would you still play it? You'd
Just-
still play it?
Yeah. Someone
Gives you
else
an
is-
easy excuse not to. Though.
Someone else is paying for my flight. You know what I mean?
Just wait for the
Mm.
clash of dates though.
Of
They'll finally
course.
push it back and it'll
Yeah.
clash with something else that's coming up, and then all of a sudden there's another big drama.
To
So
me,
maybe it was best to
in,
not play.
in
it,
total fairness as well, like I'm looking at.
I know. Look, even with everything we can see now and how the event ran, everything like that. In hindsight, I'd still, if I was a player in the same position I was, I'd play it.
Yeah.
Even with the shittiness of everything,
It's better for the scene if all the teams play.
It's so confusing though, because I'm looking at the calendar,
it's just
and the 1st of January had 1st of January that week up until the Sunday, which was the 5th of January, had the APAC LAN for WESG.
Yeah.
And then to have the Oceania qualified pop up after that, the APAC LAN was actually cancelled and pushed back, postponed
Yeah.
indefinitely
Yeah.
due to virus fears. But the
it's like Y2K.
The Oceanic
Yeah.
qual
the
was
Oceanic qual just sort of
after
popped up afterwards, after the APAC qualifier. What on earth is going on with your calendar?
yeah.
So I can immediately see confusion there. Needless to say, another one slips through the fingers.
Yep.
Of this region due to some event mismanagement.
Interesting to see if
I'd-
it comes back next year.
So AL wasn't involved except for admins who ran it on Mogul's platform, which is hilarious because they were involved.
Wait, what? They're not involved, but they're involved.
So basically, I'm going through the Discord conversations, and representative from AEL said AEL wasn't involved in WESG except for providing admins who ran it on Mogul's platform.
So they ran the whole thing.
So providing the admins doing what league ops like.
Did they provide a photographer?
If they were lucky. I don't know. Either way, point is, I'm absolutely certain that is not the case. There are representatives from AEL running that, and it goes as another knocked out of the park event on their portfolio.
Well, hopefully someone pops up with a esports event TO-ish that can be awarded these contracts in future. Because right now
Yeah,
it's
that-
like, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
You got to wrestle them out of the arms of
Oh, can't be that hard.
AEL.
Look, it was Christmas, you know. Kwan was probably on holiday somewhere.
It wasn't
and then
AEL.
completely
Sorry,
forgot.
it was Critical Hit Entertainment.
It was what?
It wasn't AEL. It was Critical Hit Entertainment, which is the company that is that owns AEL.
So who the fuck fucked up? I'm so
This
confused.
is where all the Spider-Men are sitting in the room, Mac, and they're pointing at each other.
Can we
but
move
they're
on?
the same
I don't
guy.
want to be part of this circle. Someone else
But they're
can
the same
fucking
guy,
figure
Matt.
this out. This is dog shit.
They're literally standing. There's now 3
Oh.
Spider-Men in the room. It's exactly. They're all the same guy, and they're all pointing at each other. And this is this is where they blame it. And they're all like, no, it was non-endemics. It wasn't us that we were just running. We had admins and anyway.
Do these cunts not communicate? Are you fucking kidding me? Get in the fucking Discord call, like anything.
No, it's an absolute sham. And it's 2020. They haven't improved their act. And
Are we gonna flog this dead horse?
yeah, look, man, the dead horse is still running in the race, Ian. All right, so the dead horse is still going to get the crop.
Yeah, the zombie horse.
This zombie horse has
That
been
would be
has
terrible.
been kicking, and yeah, it's still a thing. That is going to take us on to our next point. I know I've significantly enraged Mac. I can tell.
Yeah,
Quite literally red.
enragement.
Just-
Enragement is engagement.
Enragement
Need to
is
cool down.
engagement, but
I can't not laugh every time I hear it.
you know how
Dribbled everywhere.
on those audiobooks they have the turn the page sound.
Yeah.
Can that be just our turn the page new
I
topic
mean-
sound? Take a deep gulp, Mac.
Yeah.
Okay. Very recent news. Chiefs back in the mix after some confusion about what was happening with the remaining Chiefs players in that roster after obviously Off-Nil and Blitz moved on. This is obviously CSGO related still. And
Obviously.
I know, but we have listeners from other esports in
Superior.
because this is the
esports.
esports social club.
Yeah.
Now, we were always curious as to what was actually going to happen with the three remaining players that won that roster. Obviously, you got Texter, you got Tux, players that have been around for quite some time, and you know Zeusy as well. Had all been under the Chiefs banner for what feels like an eternity. No announcement where they were going, whether they were rebuilding or whatnot. Comes out today that the ex-Genuine now team, now Chiefs,
Bit of a surprise, to be honest. I was shocked.
are signing with the Chiefs.
I heard Chiefs weren't going to delve back into CS, but obviously, I heard wrong. But what a surprise that is. Good for the guys, I guess. I read Jinx saying that he wanted to play for them ever since he was in the CGA 2014, like back when Chiefs were half decent. And yeah, that was good.
Are you talking? Are you talking the Direwolves then Chiefs?
Oh no, 2014
20-0 ESEA, never forget.
had to have been the. Oh yeah, maybe like
That was actually, I think that was
has
pre-Chiefs.
has Chris Howe.
No. This
No?
I was talking like your Wizard, Sicko, Blackout,
Oh no,
Stands,
no.
Direwolves roster, I think.
No.
Anyway, that was a while ago. But the point being is that they have now continued on into 2020 with a CSGO roster,
Which can play minors.
which can play minors, which was always the point of contention with that Chiefs roster, I would imagine.
Which is a humongous deal.
It is. And given that, those guys have been qualifying for events, there's those little pop-up events that we don't really, you don't hear a lot about them because some of them aren't mainstays on the calendar like your bigger international events.
They're getting there.
But they're qualifying for these sorts of events and, having some representation, obviously having moved on from Genuine, trying to seek a different organisation.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good match having those guys with Chiefs? Because obviously they've stuck it out a little bit in that, they've kept that roster very, very consistent.
Yeah.
It'll
I
be
don't know.
good.
What do you
Like
reckon?
if they can find some form of, like, I don't know, is Oxy still coaching them? But I feel like they could pick up probably a more established coach now that they have Chiefs as an org, and something like that could just be enough to get them over the line, find a bit more consistency, which is their issue, right? Because they'll have these days where all five of them are just absolutely playing amazingly, and they'll take it to, like, they took the map off Renegades, and then obviously Renegades had the map advantage, so they got through to Cato, but everyone was just like, whoa, this team is hilarious because of the name, and
So
they were really good.
you feel as though they might need a coach that can help them in more of the mental fortitude
Yeah, I was going to say.
fronts,
The psychology.
Yeah.
as opposed to actually the.
Well,
Actually, interesting is Chiefs resident psychologist
Was it Michelle?
Michelle Payne still working with them,
I don't think so.
or will she go on to work with them? Because I think if that's something that they are like finding it difficult to be consistent with, but I think that would be
Michelle's behalf.
okay.
She'll listen and tell us.
Yeah, we'd love to find out whether or not that's a team that she's been working with, because as you said, that's something that they clearly do struggle with.
She stopped working with Chiefs last year and was working with another team, but I never saw it get announced. So
Well, apparently, both Tyler and Tux also stopped working with Chiefs last year.
Yeah.
You see those tweets?
They're the same guys.
No.
Tyler and Tux, Texter and Tux. Jesus.
I mean, almost the same guys as well.
Too many T's.
No, well, in
Too many T's and too many V's.
Curious now with the V's, but
VBs?
not really.
Too many VBs?
Oh, maybe.
My guys?
Woohoo.
But
Back bands?
Back to Bendigo.
Hey, now you see, it. Okay, so yeah, that was the.
Anyway,
I guess it's a good marriage in that Chiefs have picked up a team
a
that's
fledgling team,
Fledgling.
maybe giving them some salary. Maybe they weren't getting the same, like a good deal.
at least giving them some support in that regard. Not too sure what the situation was at Genuine, but my understanding is with Genuine and the teams that they have,
good with Genuine.
the teams and the players that they have,
Mm.
I've never heard a bad word spoken about
Yeah.
Genuine. So you know that they look after their players.
I think they got looked after pretty good, but then Genuine just wanted to go back to their roots, right?
The way that
I
it
think
was
it
working,
was-
from as far as I understood, was that Genuine obviously wanted a salary, but if they weren't winning and they weren't performing at that point, it's like, I think the whole thing is like when you guys start
They didn't
performing.
really start performing until they left Genuine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. So it was like
Feels
a
bad.
bit of feels bad, but obviously you have to prove yourself to, I
And
guess, your boss
I've
to
always been an
get the
advocate of
raise.
It's
you
a
know?
bit of a horse before the cart, isn't
Yeah.
it? In that
Yeah.
regard.
So, well, now they've done a bit of, showing themselves off to the world, and, Stats changed the name to Humongous, which is another good meme in itself, and probably provides a good amount of content.
Yeah.
And being with Chiefs, do you think
Ooh.
Chiefs are really good with the content, so they might be able to pull something great?
Speaking of content and Chiefs, there was perhaps a lack of content around the departure of their old squad.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was what I was gonna.
Particularly
Touch
with
on
a
next.
guy named Tyler, who was on the front of Logitech boxes.
He's been a mainstay for that organisation over the better part of the last 5 years.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was a model for SteelSeries when I was in Immunity.
Were ya?
It's like,
Were you posing with like the
you remember Papa
keyboard
John?
over the back? Yeah.
Yeah, I was that, but on their
But
website.
he had Gunner Optics on.
No, I wasn't like that. But I was on the Siberia product page.
Ah.
And it might be a foreboding sign that if you get onto a piece of merchandise or like something like that, then you get shafted by the org eventually.
It's not good. I mean,
Didn't that happen with Legacy, though? You did that ad for Legacy,
Yeah, that was a good ad.
yeah, it was a good
Samsung-
ad, but it didn't come out till after you'd left as coach, right?
Yeah, but that's not their fault. That was Samsung.
Yeah, of course.
Screwed up. I spoke
But
to
it
the
was
guys
funny.
at PAX just off the cuff.
Yep.
And they said, "Oh, really?" And then they made up for it and sent me an extra SSD. So that was cool.
There you go.
there you go. What a
Mate,
solid
you
state
do
to
work,
be in.
you get paid. That's the way
Yeah.
it is, unless it's for some dodgy car salesman.
What?
Car salesman. Yeah, just kick the tires and light the fires, hey Ian?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be a good marriage
No
for
fires.
Chiefs.
No
No
fires.
fires. Oh?
It's too soon. Fire ban. But Moe, if
Good
you ever
point.
set that jersey on fire, I will commit $50 to RFS. I'll
Yeah?
donate that junk straight up.
What's
Yeah.
this?
So
Is
if
this
you
a
break
tweet
a
I've
total
missed?
fire ban, Moe, you will.
As soon as it's available, we've spoke about it in DM. It could happen that the jersey will get set on fire, and
What jersey?
a piece of history.
Right.
And
Come on, Ian.
if
This
it can't be set on fire, like if it's
the world needs
fire
immunity more now
retardant
than ever. The world needs immunity more now than
or
ever.
immune to fire, then he will cut it up with a saw.
A saw.
Yeah, he's going. Yeah, we're going full on this, dude.
Jeez,
This is some real content.
Well, I know
Alright,
this. I know
cool.
this is off topic, but we're talking about jerseys. So Jordan Manor from MC, he finally got his signed 100 Thieves jersey from the Kurt Deegan. What was it? The Kurt Deegan. Kurt Deegan Philpott Cup.
Yep.
Which was the charity cup that we ran from our lounge room. And
Yeah,
yeah.
I walked into the room and they're like, "You produce, you take
Yeah.
controls."
There you go.
Oh, no one's on this.
I wasn't here for this.
You're probably limping somewhere.
It
Couldn't
was
doing
make it out of there.
actually
You-
very likely.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
You
there
were.
was a 3-month period where I was a vegetable.
You were elevated.
Yeah.
In which he means he was rooted to the ground, not any other.
No, what, like an eggplant?
I'm
or
not
something?
editing
No, I
that
don't know
out.
where you're going
I'm not
with this.
editing that out,
I'm Groot. What? I don't get it.
dickhead.
Just Groot in a corner.
No, he's taking it places it shouldn't be taken, obviously.
Oh no. Either way, so he finally got his jersey, right? That's the. Okay, great. segue.
Continue on. You got his
Oh
jersey.
yeah, he got his jersey. He
Okay.
signed. He got I think
Oh.
it's one of the first 100 Thieves jerseys in the country, but it's also signed by all
you know
of
about.
the 100
Yeah,
Thieves.
it
That
would not-
that we know
It
about.
wouldn't be the first because they all would have come home for Christmas and rest in peace. World record.
Do you have one?
No, I don't.
Oh,
Not yet.
he said, Justin, if you're watching, Jim's sad. Justin's probably not watching.
He's
but-
probably not watching.
No, he's probably not
When
going
you
to watch
make it
this.
into that top 20, you sort of drop this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You forget all your mates. No. That's-
it's
It's fine.
Wow.
He didn't forget, by the way. We still laugh about some things, you know.
Okay, I don't think it. That's like, yeah, I'm still mates with all my friends too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't listen to what they say.
No matter what they say, we're still a good bloke.
yeah, me and Justin's still good.
Yeah, for when he eventually listens to this.
When word gets around that you said that, he'll be like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Who?
Yeah.
Who? Oh yeah, that guy.
Who?
No, that's
Who?
fine.
That's mine.
That's fine. All those years plugging in his gear because he couldn't reach the back of the case. That's cool.
At least he had a config.
Anyway,
It's true.
let's
It's true. But
jump
now,
back in.
as we were saying,
Chiefs.
Tux, Texter,
Yep.
and Zusi.
Lack
What's-
of an announcement.
lack of announcement as to what's happening with those guys.
Just
Do you
like
know it
Ali,
all?
when he left for Order, there was like, oh, Ali was in the team for a long time. Sick, guys.
Hmm.
Is that all they are? Just a name on a jersey.
Well, did you see what Josh said on Twitter?
No.
He said on
Who's
the
Josh?
tweet, Josh TM, Josh
Okay.
Harvey.
Yeah.
So this is on Texter's tweet, which was okay. So disappointed Tux at Tux. We can't even get a farewell. Oh well. Chief saying he believed in Tyler, and we ended up with a successful 2018. Something we probably lost in 2019 with the incorrect leadership / direction. At least speaking from my opinion, losing Flick CSGO was a big hit. And then a little bit further down, Josh said, "Sorry that you and Tyler didn't get a farewell post, mate. You're both absolute ripper blokes, and it was a pleasure to work with you and work with and get to know. I hope you both do go on to do what you set your minds to and succeed." And then Wooly said, "Why didn't they? Like, they deserve more than a post, to be honest." And then Josh's reply says, "Because they haven't been under Chiefs since last year, and a lot of things change and happen in between. There was miscommunication on some things, and I said it's my fault they didn't get one." And yeah, so essentially that's
Okay.
it. So there was
So,
some
is
Is
miscommunication.
it too late?
Does anyone know if they're still playing? Like, are they still in, FPL queues or anything like that?
I heard
I think
one or two of them
Texters-
have been potentially trialing for some other teams, but I don't know if they've got
I know
offers.
Zusi's quit. Zusi's Gonski.
Zeus's Dunsky?
Yep.
Is
Right.
his second retirement now?
Yep.
Or third?
John Farnham.
Yeah, but true. Is there a Kiwi John Farnham?
Oh shit!
Or
yeah.
John Farnham?
If John Farnham, the Wi-Fi is on the fridge. I don't know.
I don't know. Look, I don't. Yeah, Zusi's. I don't expect
Hopawadi?
Zusi to come back in the sense that he was a player that always, for Counter-Strike, for him was always about fun. And when he was playing with Tux,
It was always about the
he was
bro
having
squad.
fun.
To be
He was
honest,
having fun.
Yeah.
Because those two, they made CS fun for one another, and that was a motivator for them. So I think with Zeus, and you saw that when he joined the Immunity team from going from Chiefs to then Immunity back in the day, he dropped off on his CS. Obviously, playing with a new bunch of players, different expectations and things like that. Pressure changes.
No
It becomes
leadership.
about winning. Leadership's different. But
Non-existent.
he was your direct replacement, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I knew that. But you saw him. He then decided what was his peak, going into that Immunity roster. He just dropped off.
Yeah.
He decided to then take a step away from the game. He came back under the guise of playing with Tux again, reinvigorated, was starting to play some decent CS. Never really reached that same level again.
Yeah.
And
Well, CS evolved and moved on, you know.
True.
You
Some
gotta-
players don't always make.
It's hard to stay current.
You know,
Especially when
make
they
the transition in through metas.
make some big old map updates.
True.
We
Yeah.
can talk about that later.
Particularly, when the bench comes out.
Yeah.
Or when Cobble disappears.
True.
Zusi was good on Cobble.
He was a great Cobble player, actually. You're right. But point is, we don't know what they're doing as players, all three of them. Obviously, as we said,
Well,
we think Zeus is probably likely to retire. Texter, not too sure. Young player, a lot of potential, but
not going to draw any conclusions.
not going to draw any conclusions. Yeah, we'll put a marker on that one. But
Mac's dead today. He's like not even being
he's
a part
dead
of it.
inside.
Keep up, mate.
I got it.
I know, but elaborate. Hit it. Kick it.
Haha.
Go beat it.
What a pencil.
Can't
there you
beat
go.
him,
You
join
got a
him.
terrible.
Oh no!
Yep.
What a leadhead.
This. Oh no. I'm trying to get back.
Are
on
we all
topic
going to
here.
do finger on forehead thinking face?
Yeah, this is how we do.
This
This
is
is how we
my,
think.
this is my
Yeah.
unimpressed face.
It's your everyday
only
face, mate.
face
That is
I
my
know.
everyday face. I'm
That's,
always
I thought that was your
unimpressed.
podcast face. What is this shit?
So, look, would we say that there's a spot on the couch if Tux ever wants to rock up in Sydney
From Bendigo.
from Bendigo? If you want to get on the bus,
Bring
and
some VBs.
get on the Greyhound bus and head on
I
up.
could probably stay at anyone else's from Bendigo.
Yeah, potentially.
Oh, I don't think that PAX clashes with, or MEO rather clashes. Well, MEO hasn't been announced, but it's not.
PAX has.
Did you sign an NDA, Mac? Is this happening again?
No, it's.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Far out.
I just said because
PAX has
MEO
been
was on at the Bendigo Beer Festival. Like they clashed last year,
Ah.
and Tux didn't come into MEO because he
Bendigo
was at
Beer
the
Festival.
Bendigo Beer Festival. Where I'm going with this is we should go down to the Bendigo Beer Festival and do our podcast live from a table, a picnic bench with Tux.
I'm not against it.
It sounds like a good idea, doesn't it?
Well, we would only get there with the help of our special sponsors, Skrilla.
Yes.
Skrilla.
Said with such enthusiasm. Here. Special thanks to our sponsor, Skrilla, who have been unwavering in their support of Australian content. And obviously, you know, without them, the level of content that we're able to provide certainly wouldn't be possible. So certainly big thank you to them. They're an Australian company that are reinvesting in Australian esports. So do be sure that if you are going to have a punt, do so responsibly. But also make sure that you check out Skrilla as well. They've got some cool stuff coming later on in the year, which we might be able to preview, I believe, once it's done. We're going to have ASMR running in the background of all of our
Ian didn't help me,
sponsor
so I
segments.
had to
Yeah.
try to.
But they've got some cool stuff coming. Be sure to check it out. And obviously, as we said, we're very thankful to have them on board. Now,
We love Skrilla.
we certainly do.
Woo!
Certainly do. Yeah, well, look, you know, if the Bendigo Beer Festival's looking good this year, we might be down there. Maybe even, to be honest, I think, you know, PAX is something that we're likely to
PAX has been announced.
The dates have
to
been
go.
announced,
Yeah, the
yeah.
dates have been announced. So 8th,
So book
Oh,
your
sorry.
flights now.
9th to the 11th of October.
Chances are you're going to go. So-
Jess wants me to book flights, but like last year, obviously I won't be at EPL because, you know, the EPL.
Mate, we don't even
groups
know
are-
what's going on.
we don't even know what's going on, so no one knows what's happening. I did see that there was the announced qualifiers, so there is actually going to be EPL quals, but lo and behold, we don't know if it's going to be community cast or if it's going to be studio cast. That's another thing.
What's going on? It seems okay. So it's super confusing, the calendar right now.
Yeah.
In the sense that how does ESCA feed into EPL, feed into
That's what
whatnot,
this
like
post was trying to.
qualifiers going
establish.
on? I'm waiting for some news on that.
Yeah. It's like MDL, which is just community casted, is now one of the main entryways into EPL. And I think they said that there was
Which is what
three
you want, right? You
three
want
spots from the Global Challenge. And then it sounded like everyone that had a EPL qualifier or like had an EPL group stage before now has a qualifier to go and like get that spot that Renegades currently have.
and there's
speaking
already
of-
been teams invited.
Yes, but
To
the
EPL.
teams invited to those quals were they just used the 8 teams that were in EPL for the last group stage. 3 of the teams were dead. Chiefs is now not dead, but you had Really Weird and Catman that were the 2 teams that were sort of there. And then you've also got Order and Avant and GZ, Paradox.
It's kind of weird though, because Avant are playing MDL at the moment.
Yeah, but Renegades aren't because it all swapped up. Even though they already played their games, now
But
players...
Renegades back in the country?
I saw Instant Malta.
Okay.
Down in Melbourne.
Actually, yeah, you're right. That was Instant.
INS.
They are about to...
The
the greatest troll, INS.
Yeah, I saw him dab on stream, by the way.
Who did? At the Fortnite.
Josh, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I saw him dab.
Oh,
That didn't go unnoticed.
that's what happens when he's not around Lynn.
It's no one to pull his head in. He had to pull his own head
Strangely-
into his elbow.
Well, he was with Sean when he did that.
Oh, okay, that explains everything.
Sean being
Led astray.
You should dab, bro. It's a good
All right.
idea.
Sure. Strangely, I didn't see that.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. Unlike you to not watch a Fortnite broadcast.
Yeah, I didn't watch
You
it.
got blindsided by that one.
Sometimes, occasionally, I'll be home and there'll be nothing to do, and I'll watch some trash TV.
Whoa.
And
Mac is
I was part of the production for that, all right? We did a great job.
Mac is trash
I'm
on
Heck,
Twitter.
it's trash.
Yeah.
On Twitter. Follow me.
Um,
Let's go.
but not this weekend. This weekend, pretty much anything was more important than watching that for me. Tennis was good.
I'm led to believe you even went outside.
Yes. I've been spotted by numerous members of the community outside, which is a bit of a change. So,
Certainly
yeah.
is. Certainly is. Now, change is inevitable. Therefore, we're changing topic.
What a segue.
I know. I've been given ample opportunity
Yeah, no, go for it.
Yeah. at the Esports Social Club to invent new segues. But we spoke last week about problems with Grassroots and the lack of
A drought.
It was actually, the Grassroots dry up when there's a bit of a drought, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just a CSGO problem here domestically. PUBG is in a similar boat.
Oof, I would hate to be a PUBG pro.
I'd hate to be just, sitting on the sidelines wondering what on earth is going on with my esport.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There's I was talking to because we had 2 guys from the PUBG community in the Observer team, having a chat with them. Did you guys know that you're not allowed to talk about PUBG around rival battle royales?
What do you mean?
It's a
is
big-
in-
it's
Like
no-go.
what? Like no free speech.
Moving on.
this we're not around any
Moving
other...
on, Mac. How do you
don't
just
want
move
to
on?
you don't want to offend anyone, You don't want to say the wrong thing around the wrong person.
You're not
Um,
saying anything about.
No, we're not. But it's just
What are these antics, Mac?
I don't know what else to say. I want to say we're not saying something, but it's like, someone will be offended.
Okay, so basically no one knows what's going on with PUBG right now,
Yeah.
bar a few inside seemingly an inner sanctum.
yeah. So there's I think LPL, as in New Zealand Let's Play Live, running a league. There's also a Australian league. I think it's called Aussie League or something, which is a community-run one, just so that there's things to play. I don't know if there's a
right.
prize pool or what, but that's got something going. So there's a bit of grassroots there, and there's no support to go international, which I think is the whole point of when AUNZ last year had it, and everyone really liked that event because it was the first time
you sent teams over. You had your Incognitos.
Yeah,
You had your Atleticos.
but a
going over
LAN
as well.
finals to qualify as a domestic competition was crazy. But now that's gone. It looks
Vendetta
like
as
it's
well.
going back to the online qualifiers. So no leagues, just straight up
No LAN.
qualifiers. No LAN.
Yeah, so
That's what it's looking like, I think.
I feel as though PUBG is a game exactly like CSGO, where you have players that stand up on LAN and others that crumble.
Yeah.
And when you go and play your international phase of any competition, it's on LAN.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to stand the test of the
Yeah,
pressure.
To be honest, though, I think PUBG is just where CS Source was back in the day, where it's just like a struggling esport in Australia.
The developers don't really
No one gives a shit.
know
about
what they're doing.
Yeah, Hawkins, obviously, I don't know if he still works for PUBG. I think he does. But he would know if there's a roadmap for PUBG, but no one else would know it. And
he's
it's
probably
up
not
to
allowed
the
to talk about it.
yeah, but
either.
it's up to the community to keep the ball rolling and show that there's interest, which is hard because it's horse before cart.
Yeah, correct.
And
Look at Rainbow Six.
No organizations like Avant are going to pick up a PUBG team
No.
and pay salary.
When
If
there's
no events, there's nothing to win.
when
oh,
the
there's this
developer has
community
to-
challenge. You know,
Yeah.
kick it, yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, look at the interest and the rise of Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
They've, Ubisoft have taken a different approach, very hands-on.
Yeah.
Very much. Don't get me wrong. Like Ubisoft.
I mean, we also got
2 years
lucky.
ago.
Australia has Fnatic, so that's a big deal.
But
That's a huge
Ubisoft 2
deal.
years ago, Rainbow Six was, it was community-run cups.
Yeah.
There was no organisation.
But someone at UB went, let's make that an esport.
Well,
And
it's almost as if they accidentally had an esport, right? Like in the few stages,
yeah,
and the first stages of Rainbow Six, they didn't really know the space too well. They didn't know what they were doing. They
Honestly,
had a pro league, they had a Premier League. You had 6 months on the sideline if you weren't qualified for one of them,
yeah.
Yeah, right.
and
was
that was
kinda
like
like- it was kinda
very
like-
stifling to players that weren't in the top echelon. So
Yeah.
they actually knuckled down Ubisoft and created a very comprehensive program where you've got invitationals, you've got masters events, you've got the pro league, you've got all these events where the developers in amongst it all, taking on feedback, constantly reviewing how they do things and improving it.
I was surprised Gfinity didn't get Rainbow Six.
Well, to be honest, that actually falls into the fact that it is a global deal.
Yeah. Because
That,
that
Right.
would have fit the model
Rainbow
pretty
Six
good, man.
Is wrapped up in.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But Rainbow Six as a whole, globally, that's in association with ESL.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
So not to say that would have been maybe a standalone event or anything like that.
Since we've gone down this tangent, just want to say congratulations to Dev Marta getting the major again.
Yep. More Aussie representation on desks overseas.
Obviously, analyst desk as well, because, so smart.
Big brains.
Big brains down,
Big brain.
down under.
Yeah.
So, yeah, congratulations to Dev Marta. I hope everyone
We're a bumpy country, not a smooth country.
likes and RTs because he's done the grind
Mm.
and he's made it.
Turn on.
Second year in a row.
Dropped an F-bomb the other day.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Faux pas.
I don't know if it was his first one, which is interesting. 'cause
You would, if he said F, you'd just be like, did you really say it?
Yeah.
Was it half-hearted? Was it a half-hearted F? Or was it like a casual
No, I think he slipped.
or full F?
I haven't seen the clip.
A hard
but-
F.
I heard it was he tripped up on his words and then was just like, fuck, and then just kept going. And Rob reacts to those pretty intensely. And I think from what I've heard, he's just gone and like, instead of just playing it off and acting like nothing happened, made it a little bit more of a deal.
Family show.
Yeah.
Family
family
show.
show is all you have to say. Move on. But anyway, well done to Dev.
Well done to Dev.
You know,
Hopefully he doesn't drop any F-bombs internationally.
Just dropping bombs.
We know he
honest-
won't. We
to
know
be
he
honest,
won't.
why not, man? I got some other people where they are, so
Drop,
Yeah.
just throw some C's even.
Yeah. Drop.
Oh, go full Aussie. No, that's not Dev though.
Yeah.
No, it
look,
really isn't Dev.
It's,
but-
it's not
do
Dev.
both. Drop truth bombs and drop F bombs.
yeah. And Dev, while you're over there, talk about your co-casters back in Oz and get another Aussie on the desk.
Man, it's not like you're not getting offers.
It's not. I'm not talking about myself because
I know, but like
as
it
much as
feels
I
though-
played a bit of Rainbow Six,
as much as you do,
scrap that.
Oh well, like this is. You do like to talk about your successes.
Look, I mean, I got offers coming out of every crevice, really orifice, really.
Do ya?
Just-
Offers or orifices?
Yeah, I got orifices coming out of every offer.
That's an image.
But it's not happening. No, I mean, keep them coming. But I've got such a stacked calendar. You got to give me more than 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, you got
notice.
one of these things that you've been pushing into people's faces. It's called a job.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, full-time employment.
job.
It can really suck the life out of you. But also when you have something
especially
else,
when you haven't got a lot of life in you to begin with.
exactly. And then something else can come up, and then you're booked out for the month. So plus I'm on call as well.
I saw you had the bat phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just your regular phone actually.
Just, yeah. Yes. But I use it.
Yeah?
For on call.
Wow.
nice.
Times have changed, Bruce Wayne. Times have changed. Now,
I
we're
kept
going to change once again.
I kept that PC, but yeah, okay.
You kept it PC?
Keep it coming.
Okay. Well,
Get him away from anything.
Bat related.
Yeah.
Dear me. Anyway, we're going to
That's
try and
too many-
digest the next segment,
too
and
many
that
cricket
is
jokes.
we're going to talk a little bit. I saw a bit of let's just say a bit of a flutter on Twitter about because that's what people do on Twitter. They tweet birds flutter,
Mhm.
and obviously the OPL having kicked off recently as well, which was obviously good to see because there were a lot of people doubting, what our OPL had been doing. But this attention on OPL wasn't as positive as you would have wanted it to be. Now, the broadcast itself, I tune into some of the broadcast because I like what they do with the couch and
The segments,
host
the
and
filler
studio
segments.
and things like
Yeah.
that. I find that sort of stuff actually quite funny, quite entertaining. But when it came to the gameplay, I saw there was a few comments on Twitter that the broadcast package they put together, namely the overlay, was a little bit distracting.
Yeah, from
Now-
what I heard, there was a lot of whinging about it by many fronts. Didn't
Now,
get to watch it though.
I did, as I said, tune in to watch it. And it wasn't until people pointed it out that I actually noticed it, but they did have a swirl going through it. It was essentially that they had their overlay at the very top. Obviously, was the gameplay. Down the bottom, they had the player cams and the stats, and also sponsor integration as well. Surrounding that sort of sponsor and stat player cam integration was this bar that had, it was animated, probably a little bit too animated. It was very quick. It was very
animated.
frequent.
The Cadbury swirl.
The Cadbury swirl. As it
Tumbleweed.
might be, yeah, and basically it was detracting from the broadcast because it was too much of a focus. Because it was too in your face. It was too much of a focus.
Bit OTT.
Yeah, and then someone said they were getting motion sickness from it. Now I don't think that's a little bit too. How close are you sitting to your broadcast?
How weak's your gut?
There's a lot of.
I'd be
esports
questioning your diet
snowflake.
over. Look, I watched it. I actually didn't think it was very obtrusive as it was made out to be.
Kellogg's snowflakes.
But I do think it could be reviewed. I do think
You can overdo it.
you can overdo it. I think the frequency of which they had this little
We've all seen that
swell
PowerPoint
come through.
presentation with a slide transition.
Yep.
Plenty. You can overdo it.
honestly, it is like one of those things, and this is one of the things I picked up in broadcast is that all those little animations and things like that, 90% of people don't notice that. 90% of people will not notice the 1%ers that you put in
Yeah.
on the broadcast. So look, yeah, to be honest, that
Keep
was
it simple.
probably the way to go with that is to go back to basics. Maybe not to say with all the criticism on Twitter, it was very the criticism was quite open. I'm
It's unusual for esports.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say they're probably going to review it.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
When,
Now,
when they have their next tournament.
it's weekly now.
Yeah.
Running OPL splits. So for the next couple of weeks, they'll be running weekly broadcast Friday and Saturday. I think the bigger issue, honestly, is the time slot on a Friday. They start at 4 p.m.
Yeah, something really
On
early,
Friday.
so lots of people can't actually watch it.
So for those people
Suppose.
that are in a traditional
Yeah.
work environment, they're going to miss at least the first hour and a half of broadcast.
What's the idea behind that?
I think it's just to fit in with international
All right.
time slots.
not
I don't know
trying to-
whether or not they used to have
Capture that GG Easy bar,
potentially if they moved
after
it back
work on
an
a
hour.
Friday. Yeah.
Like, surely you can find an hour in your program to slot that back. But
Yeah.
someone said that it's sort of the other regions' broadcasts all sort of piggyback off one another.
Right.
So moving into like Friday broadcast for other regions, which would make sense. Obviously,
Who cares about
the
our region?
LPL,
don't
the
worry,
Chinese
guys.
stuff, is
Would-
not running at the moment.
yeah.
Don't
but
worry,
it-
guys. We'll move it back.
Yeah.
OC.
But if it was running, would it roll off the back of the OPL? Because
I
I saw LPL was doing like more days of broadcast. They were doing heaps.
Well, China's 3 hours behind in their time zone.
But I swear they were Hysterics and that were broadcasting like 4 days a week rather than the 2. But they had way more teams in their
They
comp.
have a lot of teams.
They have a lot of teams.
But they also would make sure that it's not at a clashing time slot.
Yeah, of course.
Which would see it sit a little bit later than OCE. But yeah, essentially, the other point that I will touch on is the fact that there was suspicion that OPL, this like 9 times out of 10 on Twitch, this isn't your fault, but the stream was being follow botted and view botted, which, like, to be honest, it's happened a little bit recently for not just bigger broadcasts. They're easy targets.
Yeah.
Right? They're
Yeah.
like OPL haven't had the best run lately. For someone third party to view bot them and follow bot them, that's an easy way to draw some attention unwanted
Yeah.
to a broadcast that is already under fire. So that was also circulating as well. I don't think there's any malice from OPL there, and
you
that
legit
they
can't
did it.
control it these
I-
days.
yeah, exactly. I don't
people
think they
do
did
it to
at
you.
all. Pull your head in.
It used to be like you do it for your own recognition or growth. Like I know a couple of players in Australia that did it. And then it became like this thing, like since you can't DDoS people, we're just
Keep
gonna-
going. You keep going.
Since you can't DDoS people, the next best thing is view bot them and increase their views and get them more attention.
This is incredible.
And then you get someone who's like, oh, they're getting view botted and follow botted. And then it's like Twitch have to come along and be like, oh, don't do that.
I just watched the man
It-
waltz.
it's out of my
across our
control.
Set.
Yes, well.
But
Is this like when you watch a surf map video and someone's talking over it and all you realize, like you finish watching it after an hour and you go, what
But did you see the
dancing?
dancing bear?
Yeah, the dancing bear. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Through the basketball players.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
this only our YouTube viewers will be able to see this.
Yeah.
So only
I
Philly-
went and grabbed my coffee off the bench.
Only
for
Philly will be
anyone
able to
that's
see
just
this.
listening. Yeah.
Just mid
But no,
conversation.
on that point, Pilly the other day revealed that he's now watching on Spotify, listening on Spotify.
Okay.
So,
That's great.
what do you know?
Just as all of our Twitter's followers start telling us that they miss our YouTube. That's great.
Yeah. So who's watching on YouTube? That's what we.
There's a few people watching.
Who
on
isn't
YouTube.
watching on YouTube?
Well, this time we're back on camera,
But-
which I don't think we really established, did we?
Yeah, I actually don't think we did.
No. Well, hey, look, you can see us now again.
Oh.
And,
so if you're interested, just stop now, pause now, and go over to the YouTube video. We're 1 hour in. Fast
Are
forward
we?
through.
I think we're only in 20 in. Anyway, besides the point.
I think
Back
we're
on track.
Actually, like perfectly. An hour.
We obviously still have a pretty low view count, so I don't think we are
one's follow-botting
sub-botting
us.
or follow-botting. There's suspicions when we changed the account from the PGTV
Oh,
into
but
ESC, and
if
people are like,
you
how
would
am I
like-
following this? What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's how we roll.
that's how
Um,
we. That's how we roll.
Subterfuge. Huh?
But the thing on the point with the OPL is there was a lot of the casters all commenting on the situation. So if it was something that OPL had done, I'm sure they would have been a bit more silenced about the whole situation rather than just memeing it on Twitter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yep.
Well, look. Either way, I don't
Because
think
is that because like if you work for a League of Legends entity, you don't have free speech?
I think it's just if you work for anyone, you probably shouldn't shit talk them on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's a
that's generally
professionalism.
good
That's a-
practice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've
it-
never worked for either of you, have I?
What was the comment over there?
Silence in the kitchen, please.
We're having
Your looks could kill.
You'd be a dead
Some-
man in.
backhanded compliments,
Uh,
messages coming from the kitchen.
So yeah, just touching on that as well. Just I guess rounding out OPL. The new players are coming in. Obviously, as we said, with the changes and the structure and
Stipends.
stipends and whatnot. That being said, though, I did see some of those players also, obviously because they're now not being paid directly by Riot, or even in some instance some of their organizations, they're a little bit more inclined to comment on certain situations.
Honestly, this is what we need because there aren't enough personalities in League of Legends.
Mm.
So get out there and say what you want to say, and it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission.
It is true. It is true in that instance.
Yeah, I guess so.
But, obviously, OPL will kick on. We'll keep watching that one closely. I don't think, as I said before, OPL are doing anything dodgy whatsoever.
Storm in
I
a
think,
teacup.
yeah, exactly. It's just storming a teacup stuff. But I guess that is the nature of what we are dealing with. Now, Mac, your mailbag has been brimful, I believe, due to the fact that you were napping after your big foray into Melbourne town.
Yeah. I actually just completely zoned out and didn't hear a word you said because I was trying to get to the mailbag.
Well, it's time for Mac's mailbag.
Oh, is that what you said? Okay, good. I'm very glad that I was going in the right direction. For context, I'm very tired. I had a nap. I didn't sleep much last night. Self-inflicted. It's okay.
Did you participate in an esports
Some
party?
Networking enhancers were
Yeah?
enjoyed.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes.
Feeling a little bit more liquid?
Yeah, illegal or legal?
Beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
beer.
thank God.
Yeah, sorry. I'll
I was
elaborate just
thank
for you,
you.
Ian. All right, so we do have some mail in the bag.
Yeah.
We'll go with tag first. So T_A_G, you're it.
A regular.
With the signing of Chiefs' new roster, what's on the horizon for Tux, Texter, and Zeusy? Glad we already covered that one.
Yeah, I don't know. My crystal ball is out of order this week, but I would like to see. I would like to see Tux either continue in, albeit we talked on the previous podcast about this, in a capacity to pass the torch with some knowledge. I think right now, with the lack of grassroots and roadmap and all those things in CS in Australia. In Australia right now needs some heroes,
Yeah.
like some,
Need
some
some,
role models, some people
yeah.
to, who have recently competed to to bring more people in to
It's a
to
shit
shepherd
job.
people in.
It's a shit job though, Jim. Like
It is.
I tried it. It's thankless. Like
It
you
is.
join an I team or an amateur team to pass the torch and knowledge, but it's a bit of a thankless job. And there's no money in it there,
I
right?
don't think he
You go
needs to
down
join
there.
an amateur
Yeah.
team.
But then he can't coach.
Mm.
He can't coach because same reason Ferg couldn't coach if you got a VAC ban. Same reason Steel, Swag, none of those guys can coach. Just having a VAC player as a coach makes you ineligible for a minor.
Mm.
So he can't officially coach anyone, and there's no way you're going to keep that as a secret.
Do you think?
Let's say he coaches Order, then all of a sudden Order beat Renegades or Order beat someone for the minor qual. That someone, no matter who it is, it's a shit thing to do, but they've got it in their right to say they've been getting coached by Tux, DQ'd. You wouldn't risk it. And,
Yeah.
and look at what happened with the Avant thing the other day, where they wouldn't let some people play a tournament on the date that they wanted because it suited them. DQ'd, whatever, moved on. That's what will happen 9 times
So
out of 10.
you think of it? Yeah, it's
And he can't cast.
any competitive.
Why
Well, you
can't he
can't
cast?
cast.
Yep, can't
Even
cast.
local stuff.
No.
What without?
Oh, wait,
like,
you can't
Valve
cast
sanctioned?
when you're back banned.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Can't
Yeah,
cast
okay.
when you're back.
I thought you were saying he was
Is
bad at
this
casting.
purely-
That's why Steel isn't a commentator. That's
Is
why
this for any competition, or just Valve sanctioned ones?
every competition is Valve sanctioned to a degree, right?
Well, basically, it's only until Valve says no.
Well,
So does he just do it on other competitions until Valve says no?
That's
Because he could play in DreamHacks and IEMs.
yeah,
it's like with Dazed,
He
right?
can.
Dazed did a lot of
exactly like Days.
desk stuff for certain competitions, but
ESL Pro
Eventually,
League,
that
yeah.
just dropped off, and that was because A, he tried to come back as a pro and failed miserably.
Yep.
And B, because they can't hire him as broadcast talent for anything that's a VAC ban tournament. Now, the other thing is what you can do, and this is something that I don't think is explored enough in our region, is stream. He could just stream, and he can do whatever he can do, just like Top Gun, just like Conky, just like Mac. You get whatever tournament you can, and you stream it, but as a pro player perspective, and you just teach through that lens, and you say, this is happening because of this is what's happening there. I know Chad did it, Sponge, he did it. Remember, he would come back to Australia, and then he would just talk shit about what's happening in FPL or whatever, and be like trying to teach thousands of noobs in his chat.
yeah.
That's where it needs to go. Dick Stacey's getting into some streaming now, and
Yeah,
now
he's
his
growing up a
playing
bit
career's
too.
over.
So is it more like a viewing party with
It's
him
a
and
viewing
it's
party with him,
talking through?
or he can go down like the Woolly route where you're doing. He could be perfect for player interviews, content filler stuff, or he could just do some strategy videos if he gets the time or the desire, and then he can build up like a YouTube fan base. There's a lot of stuff he can do. There's a lot more stuff he can do than what he can't do, and that what he can't do is play in a VACman tournament or commentate a VACman tournament.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna extend an invitation if he wants to jump on our couch and kick things off.
Legit, anyone is welcome on the couch.
Yeah, I know, but like
We
specifically
allow
to Tyler,
VACman players on the
yeah,
couch.
we are not
It's okay.
sanctioned by anyone.
Yep. Unless
There's no sanctioning
Just
here.
FYI.
we'll ask Skrilla. We'll just clear that one up.
Just
That'll be
FYI,
fine, mate. That'll be fine.
That'll be fine.
we've had every VACman player in a top team on this couch at some point, but just weren't recording.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you talking in an entertainment capacity?
I mean, in a casual environment of entertainment, yeah.
Yes.
So
Correct. Cool.
So strippers.
there were.
Why do you go straight to that?
What? Oh, sorry. Oh shit, we're recording. Anyway, so that pretty much sums up that question.
You're in
And-
it tonight.
Hopefully Tux is
Doesn't tuck it in.
what? Yeah, hopefully Tux doesn't tuck it in.
Yeah,
Let's go
I'd
with
like
that.
to see him around in
Flop it
another
out.
capacity.
He could be
Oh,
like.
he's a pretty good beer pong player too, by the way.
Oh, he is. That's right.
Yes.
He's pretty good.
He was pretty good.
Very good.
He was very happy to play beer pong.
I'm trying to think. IEM. He gets a go at IEM, doesn't he?
Yeah.
IMs are fun.
Yeah. So he could. Well, I mean, assuming that. Never mind. Forget it. There's no IEM.
Whatever you reckon. Anyway, I am still an IM believer. Anyway,
I
Benji
am. You are. We are.
Believers.
Benji OCE has said, "When can I come on the show?" And as soon as he said that, I said, "Get an Uber over, and you can be on now," because it was before we actually started
Yeah.
recording. And then my makeup artist, Still Barlin, is asleep right now. I'm down to come around for the next ep though. And then Sean responded straight away, so it was just a cop out, and Benji could have come because I think he's 20, especially at this time of night. It's probably like 20 minutes away, if that. in
Yeah.
Uber.
Look, Sydney's a weird beast, man.
Yeah, depending on how many traffic lights you get stopped
Yep.
at. So yes, Benji, come on the show. Do you guys want Benji on the show?
Yep. Let's get him. Let's get him.
Ian nodded, by the way, Benji. So if you're not watching on YouTube,
answered only to our YouTube viewers.
yeah,
Got to leave something for them, right?
Yeah. True.
we can try.
It's bad enough they have to look at this for an hour and a bit.
Yeah, I did a pirouette before. That was all right. Anyway, Esports Ben AU. Have you seen a faster bump out? No, I haven't seen a faster bump
Not
out.
one that efficient and of that capacity.
Yeah,
Although I think
No.
Josh Inman was saying that there was a budget for the bump out, so like they could hire people for the bump out, which is pretty cool. If that is true, if that's
Many
what the
hands.
message, many hands make light work.
well, there
and-
was contractors taking out the desks that I was helping them with as well.
yeah.
Because it was just sort of harder, heavier stuff, and you had to take it off the top because it was like the two tier.
yeah. Otherwise, it's like
Yeah.
esports production people
Well,
bumping out.
I think
Yeah.
the thing is, right, like with that particular bump out, there's only a certain segment on it that is esports specific.
Yeah.
A lot of it
But
is
we're talking
either
about like
staging,
staging,
scaffolding,
trees,
truss,
plants,
yeah, trees, plants, all that set, all the desks, things
Cabling.
like that. You don't have to be a specialist to take that out.
No,
And if they've got many hands doing it, excellent. And I think by all accounts was they needed that venue space vacated very quickly.
Yeah,
so
there was
it
a-
needed to be done.
A viewing party for the Australian Open Grand Final, which was just about to happen after the tournament finished, and I had a peek in after we bumped out as well. So it's just all the big screens. It was almost the same setup, but then they were just watching the Grand Final, and
Right, so they
the
just bumped
stadium
out
was packed inside.
All the stuff that was on ground level.
so they were
Yeah.
watching
all the
GoTV.
truss and the screens were up.
Well, they were watching,
watching
the
Go-
live feed.
GoTV of the tennis.
Kinda. So the thing was though, like out the front, like that first area in front of Margaret Court Arena and Rod Laver Arena.
Never been.
Never been. Okay, so there's a big sort of area at the front which was just trees everywhere, and they had these huge screens up top. People were just there inside AO watching from that because the atmosphere was still good. Because obviously the arena is going to be packed out. So the arena's packed out in RLA, and then you've now got like MCA as well, which is where Fortnite was, which is now another internal viewing party. If it rained, the guys outside are kind of screwed. So they got to go somewhere. I assume they can go to this MCA, or maybe not. They just have to cop being wet
Yeah.
watching it.
Melbourne, it will turn
Indoor
on a
viewing
dime.
party is like
It was so
It's-
hot. It was
so
so sweaty on the Friday, because it was 40 degrees when we got down, and then we were inside, so I didn't notice it rained. But then we walked outside, and it had already just like all evaporated. Just the air was so thick, and it was like I got back from Malaysia not long ago. It was literally just like being in Malaysia.
Yeah.
It was no better here in Sydney. It was no better.
Yeah,
here.
Jess said it was hot and
pretty
sweaty.
bad. But I think I've just seen it now. Actually, funnily enough, 39 minutes ago, the late and well-deserved farewell to Tux, Zusi, and Texter.
Oh, they did it?
Yeah, there's one that's gone out.
That's good. That's
so,
nice.
Yeah, look,
Legit, never too late.
it's never too
Yeah.
late.
Or to
Exactly.
still do something about Alistair leaving.
Well, it's like, has Ground Zero announced llamas and that yet? So, yeah, Ground Zero still haven't done an announcement for players they've been using for 4 months, 5 months. They're still trialing.
probation
apparently.
period,
Okay,
as
probation period.
Probation period.
I remember when I
Unofficial.
trialed for teams. Hilarious time. You'd put like dash T in your name and shit.
I did.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
This
Yeah.
is way back
Yeah,
when,
right.
when I had to prove myself.
Yeah, okay.
Dash T. You weren't
Yeah.
like officially a member of the team.
Yeah.
yet.
Okay.
It was also your way of being like, I'm not LFC anymore because that was in your name.
Yeah, no longer
And
looking
then
for clan.
it'd be also like saying, I'm not joining this team, so if you want me, like, you know.
Yeah, I'm still available.
Yeah.
I'm out there.
Right,
I'm
okay.
trialing with my MP3s.
With, oh, God, you beat me to it. It's like playing deathmatch with MP3s in your name. 'Cause,
yeah,
like,
to let everybody know via your name
Yeah.
what your status
I'm not
currently
listening.
was.
I'm not listening.
No, you sound in deathmatch. I've got MP3s.
So you put it in your name so people would know.
Yep. So like your Steam name,
It seems irrelevant.
your in-game name. Sorry.
Yeah,
Because you could
but-
actually change that.
Why?
And then you would alias until you got a good score in a scrim against a good team.
This is
You
before my
reveal
time.
yourself at
yeah,
the end.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Either way, like I think that's a good place to
one more.
one more.
We're gonna.
One
we're
more?
not gonna leave. Yeah, one more.
Okay.
We're not gonna leave Basics question untouched.
Okay.
It's kind of. I didn't get to watch it. I didn't even know it was on until this question, and then I noticed it was on because I haven't been on Twitter because I've been busy.
Yep.
Who did you go for in the Super Bowl? At Chiefs or at 49ers, or who do you follow, if any? I did used to watch a bit of NFL, but
Mm. It's not my game, honestly.
no, the time slots I sleep through it because I'm on gamer hours.
Yeah.
Because the games are played in the morning on TV. And
Yeah,
I don't know. Do we even fucking have TV? I don't know if we have TV at our house.
I went for.
We don't have TV. We don't have TV.
I went for Philadelphia last year because one of my mates is from there.
Yep.
And then this year I was like, San Fran versus the 49ers versus Chiefs. I was like, my guy, Chiefs. 'Cause
Chiefs.
Counter-Strike.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I watched Chiefs, and Chiefs were doing really well. They were up like 4-0. And then San Fran came back. And then that Chiefs came back again. And it was like 10-10. And then San Fran just blew them away. And so I stopped watching and did some work because
That's what you do at work.
my thing now. And next thing I know, Chiefs somehow pulled it out of the bag. Sick comeback. And took the win. So yeah.
And you'll read about it in tomorrow's paper.
And everyone was like, yes, Chiefs. Yeah, bah, bah, bah. I'm like, oh, did you put money on it? Oh, did you put money on it? Oh, you put money on it? They were like, oh, no. My mates did. I'm like, well, how is everyone so passionate about this game
Yeah.
when they don't have money on it?
I love the experts that I have on my timeline that only ever tweet about Super Bowl at Super Bowl time.
Right.
That's what I'd do, but I'd do it as a meme. I'd just be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what an idiot! Why'd he drop that ball? What a dumbo!" You know, like
But the irony is lost on me. I actually would just think you're a casual Super Bowl fan.
Yeah.
What you were gonna say then? But it's the only reason I knew Super Bowl was on today was because at like midnight last night.
was it today?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
This morning, 10:30 this morning.
Well,
It was
there
on
you go.
Channel 7.
Oh, you
Yeah, right.
revealed the date of our episode.
Oh, care factor zero.
Damn.
So it's not like the Mac mailbag. Doesn't
This
it?
one's
yeah.
released. This one's getting released tomorrow, so it's
Yeah.
all right. It's all right.
Today, if you're
and
listening currently.
the only way I knew it was going was because Panic's girlfriend messaged me and said, "Oh, will you be home tomorrow to watch Super Bowl?" And I was like, "Oh, do I work from home?" And
Yeah.
but
You're on
obviously,
call, mate.
I did the right thing. I went to work.
Yep.
And watched it.
Show your face.
Everyone watched it at work anyway.
We did
Exactly. It's because people can see you doing it because you're in their company.
Yeah, why not?
You're all doing
You
it.
know, you still get your work done. That's all that matters.
That's it. Cool. I honestly don't really follow the Super Bowl, so
No, me either.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did, like I said, didn't know it was on, but I know
Yeah.
the teams.
I don't-
like the Dallas Cowboys, yada yada, etc.
Yeah.
From Counter Strike.
I-
Complexity. Hello,
the
anyone?
Dallas Cowboys. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
cool.
I don't pretend to know anything about NFL.
Oh,
so-
yeah, I learn something new every year.
I went to the 49ers stadium when I worked at America. I think it was one of the newer ones that had only been built recently.
In San
And-
Fran.
Yeah, and we were looking for a toilet, and we just went there, and we're like, "What's this?" And went to go in, and the security guard was like, "Oh, this is the new 49ers stadium." And we're like, "Oh," I was like, "Okay, can we go in to go to the toilet?" And he's like, "No," and we went and found a Dunkin' Donuts or something like that. I don't know.
There
But
you go.
that was
Oh,
a
you
great
see
story.
GYG
Went and
is
dunked
expanding
elsewhere.
into America?
Guzman and Gomez.
Yeah.
No,
They're going
didn't see
what?
that.
They reckon they're going to succeed in America because they're going to add drive-through. And they said that America has like a acceptance of mediocrity, so they're going to smash it out of the park.
Didn't GYG start in America?
No, apparently not.
It's an Australian company.
Yeah,
My mate works
Yeah.
for them,
that's great.
You should know that.
and he does all the videos.
Well, he's going to be going to America probably.
no, he did. That's why.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, yeah.
He's over there, and he's been shooting at the NBA games and stuff.
Well, they reckon they're going to take America by storm. You think about their competition,
Honestly,
right?
drive-through is the way forward.
Well,
man. Do you know my
yeah.
biggest complaint?
The
Alright,
Mexican
in
doesn't
Sydney-
suck.
Zambrero has drive-through.
In Sydney, my biggest complaint is the lack of drive-through coffee. They just don't seem to have them
There's
here.
one close.
Cafe.
Give me
The
give me the
Gloria
details.
Jeans.
No, that's crap though.
yeah. Well, fucking because can't be choosers, dickhead.
Well, I'd rather get out of
All
my car
the-
for a good coffee.
All the Muzz Buzzers and stuff have closed down in Perth. I'm not getting any. Not getting
Gloria
enough business.
Jeans.
Gloria Jeans. mate.
We're never getting sponsored
What-
by them. No, look, honestly, I should have put a caveat in there, which was good drive-through coffee.
Dude, I think. Oh yeah, no, my cafes are hit and miss.
They always miss.
Yeah,
They're always miss.
it depends. If it's a see, if
Even
it's
like
a
Starbucks miss the coffee shit.
Krispy Kremes, they got a drive-through.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, they do actually, but it's also a fair
Ooh,
drive
I've
away.
not had their coffee.
They're actually not
for
too
us.
bad.
We're next
They're
door.
okay. They're
Yeah.
okay, actually. To be honest,
If Krispy
I'd put
Kreme-
Krispy Kremes above Gloria Jeans coffee.
Depends on what you
Sure.
Oh,
get.
I had Krispy Kremes the other day.
I just go there like
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
Despite the hashtag diet.
Yeah, I know you brought
straight off the conveyor belt, first time ever. Like the guy actually like got them as they dropped off.
Mm.
Oh my god,
They melt in your mouth.
it's like an awakening. Yeah, I've never had. It was like a spiritual moment.
Yeah.
But then like a couple hours later, they're just normal Krispy Kremes. But anyway, just thought if you've ever seen one, if you're ever at a Krispy Kreme that has the conveyor belt and you can see it, you can ask for them straight off the conveyor, and they are amazing.
Okay, well, I'm now really hungry.
And if Krispy Kremes would like to help us out, we don't need the money, but like we need the donuts and the coffee, obviously, for Jim.
Yeah,
I'd like the money because I'm been hitting the gym, so that's the only way I'm going to say I
Yeah,
like
no, I've
Krispy
got
Kremes.
bruises to prove it.
Yeah, I hit the gym.
I'll just talk about that dirty bulk.
Wow, everyone's hitting me. This is not good.
Who's quitting you?
I'm quitting this podcast, guys. It's
Fucking
been a
Sean
pleasure.
all over again.
No,
Never quit quitting.
No, that's true. That's true. You make it a habit. When I say quitting, I mean we're wrapping this one up
Oh, of course.
like a Christmas gift, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Special thank you to Skrilla once again for being our awesome partners and bringing us into 2020 with more support. They've been fantastic. As we said, they support Australian content, Australian esports from the grassroots, and look for them more in the space in 2020. So let's get more involved. If you are going to have a punt, make sure you do check them out. But also remember to gamble responsibly. I'm Jim Anesso, Ian Sniper-Turner, and Johnny McAleer. Gentlemen, we've been at Esports Social Club, and we will catch you next week. Socialites.